The Battle of Baekgang, also known as the Battle of Baekgang, fought in 663 CE, was a significant conflict in East Asian history. This battle was pivotal in the struggle for power and influence among the kingdoms of Korea, China, and Japan, and its outcome reshaped the political landscape of the region. The origins of the Battle of Baekgang can be traced back to the complex relationships between the three kingdoms of Korea, Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla, and the external powers of Tang China and Yamato Japan. By the mid-7th century, Silla had formed a strategic alliance with Tang China to counter the threats posed by Goguryeo and Baekje. This alliance was driven by mutual interests. Tang China sought to extend its influence over the Korean peninsula, while Silla aimed to unify Korea under its rule. In 660 CE, the combined forces of Silla and Tang launched a successful campaign against Baekje, leading to its fall. The fall of Baekje was a significant blow to the kingdom and its ally Yamato Japan, which had long-standing ties with Baekje. The Japanese were alarmed by the increasing power of the Silla-Tang alliance and feared that Silla might dominate the Korean peninsula, threatening Japanese interests in the region. In response, Yamato Japan decided to intervene. The Japanese court, led by Emperor Tenji, assembled a large expeditionary force to aid the remnants of Baekje in their efforts to reclaim their kingdom. This force, comprising ships, soldiers, and supplies, was one of the largest military expeditions ever launched by Japan at the time. The Japanese troops, accompanied by Baekje loyalists, set sail for the Korean peninsula, determined to restore Baekje and curb the expansion of the Silla-Tang alliance. The decisive confrontation occurred near the Baekgang River, also known as the Geum River, in present-day South Korea. The battle took place in a series of engagements on land and water, reflecting the complex nature of warfare during this period. The Silla-Tang forces were well-prepared and highly coordinated, benefiting from the superior organization and military tactics of the Tang dynasty. The Japanese fleet, commanded by various noble leaders, faced numerous challenges as they navigated the Korean coastline. Upon reaching the Baekgang River, they encountered the formidable Silla-Tang navy. The ensuing naval battle was fierce and chaotic, with ships clashing in close combat, archers exchanging volleys, and soldiers boarding enemy vessels to engage in hand-to-hand fighting. Despite their initial enthusiasm and determination, the Japanese forces were at a disadvantage due to the superior tactics and naval capabilities of their opponents. The Silla-Tang fleet utilized advanced naval strategies, including the use of fire ships and coordinated maneuvers, to outflank and overwhelm the Japanese ships. The battle quickly turned in favor of the Silla-Tang alliance as Japanese ships were set ablaze and their formations disrupted. The narrow and shallow waters of the Baekgang River further hampered the maneuverability of the larger Japanese vessels, making them easy targets for the more agile and better coordinated Silla-Tang ships. On land, the situation was equally dire for the Japanese and Baekje forces. The Silla-Tang army, well-versed in both traditional and innovative warfare tactics, launched a series of coordinated attacks against the Japanese encampments. The Japanese soldiers, unfamiliar with the terrain and outnumbered, struggled to maintain their defensive positions. The combined might of the Silla infantry and Tang cavalry proved overwhelming, leading to significant casualties and the eventual collapse of Japanese resistance. The aftermath of the Battle of Baekgang was catastrophic for Yamato Japan. The Japanese expeditionary force suffered heavy losses, both in terms of manpower and material. Many of the noble leaders who had spearheaded the expedition were killed, and the surviving soldiers faced a perilous journey back to Japan. The defeat marked a significant setback for Japanese ambitions on the Korean peninsula and led to a period of introspection and military reform within Japan. For Baekje, the battle was the final nail in the coffin of its efforts to reclaim its former glory. The defeat crushed any hopes of restoring the kingdom, and the remnants of Baekje were gradually absorbed by Silla. The fall of Baekje also altered the balance of power on the Korean peninsula, paving the way for Silla's eventual unification of Korea under the unified Silla dynasty. The Silla-Tang alliance emerged victorious and solidified their control over the southern part of the Korean peninsula. However, the alliance between Silla and Tang China was not without its tensions. As Silla consolidated its power, it became increasingly wary of Tang's intentions and influence. This wariness eventually led to a more independent Silla, as the kingdom sought to distance itself from Tang China's dominance. The Battle of Baekgang had far-reaching consequences beyond the immediate military and political outcomes. It influenced the diplomatic and military strategies of the involved powers for years to come. For Yamato Japan, the defeat was a catalyst for significant changes in its military organization and governance. The Japanese court recognized the need to strengthen its central authority and military capabilities, leading to reforms that would later shape the foundations of the Japanese state. In China, the Tang dynasty's involvement in the Korean peninsula was part of its broader strategy of regional dominance. The victory at Baekgang reaffirmed Tang China's military prowess and its ability to project power beyond its borders. However, it also highlighted the complexities of maintaining influence over distant territories and the challenges of sustaining long-term alliances. The Battle of Baekgang is also remembered in Korean history as a critical moment in the struggle for unification. The victory of the Silla-Tang alliance was a stepping stone toward the eventual unification of Korea under Silla, a goal that had profound implications for the cultural and political development of the Korean peninsula. The battle underscored the importance of strategic alliances and the dynamic interplay of regional powers in shaping the course of history. In modern times, the Battle of Baekgang is studied not only for its military and political significance, but also for its cultural and symbolic impact. It serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of East Asian history and the complex legacies of war and diplomacy. The battle's legacy is commemorated in various historical texts, monuments, and cultural narratives, reflecting its enduring importance in the collective memory of the region. The Battle of Baekgang, with its dramatic clash of forces and far-reaching consequences, remains a key event in the annals of East Asian history. It exemplifies the turbulent and transformative nature of the 7th century, a period marked by shifting alliances, military innovations, and the relentless pursuit of power and dominance. The story of the battle continues to resonate, offering valuable insights into the dynamics of war, politics, and cultural exchange in a pivotal era of history.